Round 2 of discussions in Shimla in August. Aam Aadmi Party angry at Congress over ordinance war, says it should decide whether it is with the BJP or against it. Kejriwal skips the joint opposition press briefing. AIMIM chief Owaisi's big attack on Nitish, asks where was Nitish in 2002 Gujarat genocide, says opposition will end up helping Modi in 2024. BJP hits out at opposition Gathbandhan meet in Patna. Smriti Irani calls it selfish alliance, says India's future is opposition's target. Prime Minister Modi attends the all-important state dinner with President Biden, and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden raises a toast to India-US friendship. Prime Minister Modi speaks on democracy debate in Washington, says democracy runs in our veins, no question of discrimination on caste, creed, religion or gender.
सिद्ध किया है डेमोक्रेसी कैन डिलीवर, और जब मैं डिलीवर कहता हूं तब कास्ट, क्रीड, रिलीजन, जेंडर, किसी भी भेदभाव को वहां जगह नहीं होती।
After a 5 days intensive hunt in the Atlantic Ocean, all 5 civilians on board Ocean Gate's Titanic submersible declared dead. All right, let's take you now to the big exclusive coming up on what really went down at the all-party meet, where 16 of opposition parties met. The inside scoop on the opposition meeting. Sources suggest Kejri'Wal suggested a 1 versus 1 formula, something which Sharad Pawar has also mooted in the past. 1 versus 1, that all political parties come up with one candidate and that candidate faces off against a Bharatiya Janata Party candidate. The other what we are getting in is what happened. Lalu Yadav asked all parties to be large-hearted. Now, these are all source-based informations. Top sources who attended the meeting confirming to India Today that Arvind, Kejriwal and Kharge also discussed the ordinance issue for 7 minutes. It got a little heated as well. Rahul Gandhi said, we will be flexible. A lot that went down in that party meet, given to understand, where especially Arvind Kejriwal and the Congress is concerned. Over 12 political parties also wanted the Congress to support the Aam Aadmi Party on ordinance. However, at that point of time, Rahul Gandhi had also said that it's a policy matter for the party and they have a process and they will follow that. But the big news that is coming in, and let me take you through that. Polomi Saha, my colleague, breaking news right now, the inside scoop of the mega opposition meet. Sources have told her that Arvind Kejriwal did suggest a one-on-one formula. Also, Lalu asked parties to be large-hearted. Arvind Kejriwal and Kharge got into an ordinance discussion for about 7 minutes and Mamta Banerjee intervened there. Rahul Gandhi also said we'll be flexible. Polomi, what more can you add to this news break?
That's right. It was a meeting that lasted close to about 4 hours. It started at 11:30 a.m. in Patna and it ended at about 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, after which, of course, there was lunch for all the participants of this mega opposition meeting. Some of the key points, of course, which, like you pointed out, Arvind Kejriwal said, let's make this a one-on-one battle. This is something that was mooted by Sharad Pawar earlier as well. Mamta Banerjee also supported this formula as well. M.K. Stalin, of course, interestingly said that there has to be a different formula. It can't be a straight jacket. It can't be a one-size-fits-all formula across all states. So, for instance, if in Maharashtra it's Congress, NCP and the Uddhav Thackeray faction, so it's a ruling alliance of 3 parties which basically takes on the Bharatiya Janata Party. But in states, in certain states, it could be just one-on-one. A TMC versus a BJP, for instance, in West Bengal. So there has to be a different formula for different states. So we have to figure that out as well. A policy document was something that Nitish Kumar said we can't agree upon today itself. It will take about 2 to 3 meetings before we arrive at a policy document. Very interestingly, Arvind Kejri'Wall insisted that the Congress express its position and its support against the ordinance for the Aam Aadmi Party today itself at that meeting. Now, the Congress and Arvind Kejriwal, specifically Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, got into a bit of a heated discussion over it, which lasted close to about 5 to 7 minutes in that meeting, where, of course, Arvind Kejriwal insisted on commitment from the Congress. Congress said, well, we have an internal party procedure. You'll have to give us some time. We're not going to support anything which is unconstitutional, but we will have to go back to our parliamentary party, our MPs from the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, discuss with them, and we'll let you know. AAP insisted on a timeline. When will you let us know? Congress said you'll find out before the parliament session, the monsoon session of Parliament. Mamata Banerjee then had to intervene, and she said, listen, you can just discuss this. You both are in Delhi. You can just discuss this when you meet up over a cup of tea, over a meal, and this can be resolved. This cannot be the point of discussion at this point of time. So that is how it was resolved immediately, but it took about 6 to 7 minutes is what we've been told. Rahul Gandhi also very interestingly stated in that meeting, while it was proposed to the Congress party that they should go first and speak first because they're the largest party in the room, Congress said we'll go last. We want to listen to everyone, and that's how Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge spoke last. Rahul Gandhi, of course, said that we will be flexible and all will be flexible. Now, whether that refers to a seat-sharing arrangement between all parties, of course, those brass tacks, Preeti, will be discussed in that meeting, which is to happen in July in Shimla.
All right, the next meeting not very far off from here in July in Shimla. But right now it seems to be the Kejri'Wall which is standing in midst of a complete united opposition front. Will the Congress relent? That's the big question. Polomi Saha breaking that news on India Today. Thank you for joining us with that. Like we pointed out, the key opposition meet today in Patna, attended by 16 opposition parties, has concluded, but there isn't any core consensus which has come out of that. The stalemate continues over the ordinance issue. That is why you have Arvind Kejriwal, who might have attended the entire meeting but did boycott the press conference. However, there will be another meeting in Shimla soon. What we have been given to understand, and which was said in the press conference as well, that all the leaders of the 16 political parties. However, it might not be 16 because the Aam Aadmi Party has made it very, very clear that they will only attend the Shimla second meeting of the opposition parties only if Congress supports them over the issue of ordinance in Rajya Sabha. However, the other 15 opposition parties have all confirmed that they will be attending the meeting. Now, that meeting will be in Shimla around the 12th or 13th of July, tentative, but it's right around the corner. And that would also be the next step to chalk out the map to form an anti-BJP front for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Also, that will be a meeting where the convener of the opposition unity of sorts, or this Mahagathbandhan of sorts, will be picked. But it seems that there was more discord than consensus where Arvind Kejriwal is concerned. Arvind Kejriwal sought support on ordinance and hit out at the Congress, saying the party was not acting like a team player. Mamata Banerjee too voiced her displeasure with Congress over dharnas against her government in Bengal. However, Mamata Banerjee did relent, and what we are getting an indication from our sources with the TMC is that the TMC very happy in which the way Congress handled the issue. However, there are core issues of conflict when it comes down to the Congress's moral alliance of sorts, because it faces off against the left in Kerala. However, seems to be, with the left in other states. Moreover, Congress Chief Kharge, TMC Chief Mamata, the Left Front, NCP Chief Pawar, Uddhav Thackeray, Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav are amongst the top opposition leaders who attended this meet. Now, right ahead of the meet, Rahul Gandhi did take on the BJP, saying it was trying to spread hate in the country. And in the meeting, what we can confirm, Rahul Gandhi said that the Congress is willing to concede, take a step back, especially where seat sharing is concerned, in the larger interest of what he said was for India.
काफी अच्छी मुलाकात हुई है और एक साथ चलने की सहमति हुई है, और उसके बाद अगली मीटिंग कुछ ही दिनों के बाद सब पार्टियों की एक और की जाएगी, ताकि उसमें आगे का जो कुछ भी होता है, जो एक साथ तो चुनाव लड़ने के बारे में आज एक सहमति हो ही गई है और सब तरह का सहमति हुआ है, लेकिन एक मीटिंग इसके बाद होगी।
3 चीज नजदीक में है जो रिजॉल्व हुआ है। नंबर 1, वी आर यूनाइटेड, हम लोग एक है। दूसरी बात है, वी विल फाइट यूनाइटेडली, ये दूसरी बात है, हम लोग एक साथ में लड़ेंगे। तीसरी बात ये हुआ है कि हमारा लड़ाई, हमको अपोजिशन मत बोलो, हम लोग भी देश का सिटीजन है, हम लोग भी पैट्रियोटिक है, हम भी देशप्रेमिक है, हम भी भारत माता कहते हैं। मणिपुर जलने से हमारा भी आग जलते हैं। बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट कानून ले आएंगे, जो काला कानून, हम लोगों ने एक साथ में मिलके वो काला कानून का खिलाफ में हम लोग लड़ाई करेंगे। हमको खून बहेगा बहने दो, लेकिन हम देश को, जनता को रक्षा करेगा, नहीं तो इंडिया नहीं रहेगा। अगर ये चुनाव में फिर वो लोग आ जाए तानाशाही गवर्नमेंट, तो नेक्स्ट देश में चुनाव ही नहीं होगा।
सभी नेता एक होकर हम आगे चुनाव लड़ने की एक कॉमन एजेंडा तैयार कर रहे हैं और हम 10 या 12 तारीख को फिर हमारे इसमें हिमाचल में, शिमला में हम वहाँ फिर मिल रहे हैं। एक होकर, एकजुट होकर 2024 की लड़ाई हमको लड़ना है और बीजेपी को सत्ता से बाहर करने का हम एक तय किए हैं।
हिंदुस्तान की नींव पर आक्रमण हो रहा है, फाउंडेशन पर, इंस्टीट्यूशंस पर, आवाज पर बीजेपी और आरएसएस आक्रमण कर रही है। थोड़ी थोड़ी डिफरेंसेस होंगी, मगर हमने ये निर्णय लिया है कि हम एक साथ काम करेंगे, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी के साथ काम करेंगे और जो हमारी विचारधारा है, जिसको हम शेयर करते हैं, उसकी हम रक्षा करेंगे।
Ladies and gentlemen, it is said that wolves hunt in packs. A political pack met in Patna. Their prey is the future of India.
All right, let's cut across right now to Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor. He's joining us live from Patna. We're also joined by Brijesh Kalappa, spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party, Syed Zafar Islam, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson Samajwadi Party, Swati Malik, Congress spokesperson Mohammad Tausif Rahman, spokesperson TMC, Mahesh Tapse, spokesperson NCP. Rajdeep, coming to you first. What's the sense? Because, you know, now that the meeting is over, the press conference is over, the googly thrown in by Arvind Kejriwal attended the meeting, boycotted the press conference, but you've been able to speak to your sources. What's the sense that you've picked up now?
Well, I was just a short while ago with Lalu Prasad, who just lives across the road, not keeping too well, but insists that all was well in that meeting, despite Mr. Kejriwal's googly, as you put it, where he effectively boycotted that press conference, raising questions over the Congress's lack of support to him on the critical question of the ordinance. Mr. Lalu Prasad at least insists that the mood is positive, believes that there is a conversation that has begun between the opposition parties, and that conversation, he believes, will eventually lead to a wider alliance. He's convinced about it. The problem, of course, is that there are enormous contradictions that still exist. What you saw between Kejriwal and the Congress is just one example of it. It's not so much the ordinance. I think eventually the Congress, according to sources, will support the Aam Aadmi Party on the floor of the Rajya Sabha. But it is the fact that who will accommodate whom? who will be the premier leader in Delhi? For example, who will be the premier leader in Bengal? Will the Congress and the left both acknowledge Mamta's dominance in Bengal? These are ticklish issues that will need to be resolved. Plus, how will you bring in more allies in key states, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha? So I think what you are seeing at the moment is the start of an attempt to create a wider alliance with no clarity on what the end game is, beyond the fact that these parties have realized that for their very survival now, they need to come together. This is not just about ideology. This is about short-term survival for many of these parties who recognize that they can't afford to suffer another big Lok Sabha defeat a year from now, because that could be an existential crisis for some of these parties, particularly the Congress, which I keep reiterating is the elephant in the room. How much is the Congress willing to concede to these other parties is critical to whether this alliance can actually last and actually endure next year.
Rajdeep, one quick question. You said how much is the Congress willing to concede? But clearly, other than, what's going on with the ordinance and the Aam Aadmi Party, the Congress seems to have conceded. You have the TMC, which seems to be happy because sources within the TMC tell us it was a very good meeting, very happy with the way Rahul Gandhi handled it. On the other hand, if the likes of Mamta Banerjee, Samajwadi Party are willing to come to a Congress-run state in the next 10 days for round 2, well, that's a good thing for the Congress.
It is. I mean, the fact that the Congress is willing to host the next round as a retreat in Shimla, which is, of course, Congress-ruled Himachal, is a positive sign for those who are wondering whether the Congress would be the first to withdraw from any such wider alliance. It clearly shows that the Congress at least seems willing to invest in any attempt made to build this wider alliance. But the real question will come, the nitty-gritty of resolving local level contradictions with national ambitions. All these leaders have their own local concerns, and at times they come in conflict with each other. So resolving them won't be easy. This is not a one-day match. This is going to be a marathon from what we gather. Shimla could be in July. You could have Chennai in August. Then you could have Kolkata in September. You could have an entire calendar leading up to the winter elections. And I think those winter elections and how the Congress does in those critical states of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh will decide just how this alliance plays out. Will it be an alliance with the Congress very much at the center of it, the magnet to this alliance, which the Congress would like, particularly post Karnataka? The Congress believes it has the momentum. Or will it be much more an alliance of equals where the regional parties will also have their say? I think all of this will be decided over the next 5 to 6 months. But clearly, the opposition is willing to set aside some of the differences, particularly over leadership issues for now, at least to carry on the conversation. So the conversation, one can say, the dialogue has begun between these parties.
Appreciate you joining us, Rajdeep. Hopefully we'll get that Lalu Yadav interview very soon there. Thank you for joining us. Let's cut across right now to our other guests. Our political panelist, Brijesh Kadappa, spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party, who decided to boycott the press conference, Brijesh Kadappa, but sat through the entire meeting there. Should Arvind Kejriwal, like there are leaders who were a part of that meeting as well, who've come out and said he should have lasted it all. It was a photo opportunity given the Congress, instead of issuing an ultimatum, that the Congress decide in this meeting itself whether they'll come and support your ordinance or not.
See, as far as the ordinance is concerned, it's an extremely important issue as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, because this is not an ordinary issue. It's an issue which has been dealt with by a 5-judge bench, the Constitution bench of the Supreme Court, which order has been nullified by an action of the central government. So I think as far as the fact that the judiciary has fully backed what the Aam Aadmi Party has been doing in Delhi, and the fact that the central government, by surreptitiously bringing out this ordinance, has tried to nullify the effect of a Supreme Court judgment, I think it can't be overemphasized as to how important it is, not just for the politics of the Aam Aadmi Party, So I think one of the very important points as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. But the very fact that Mr. Kejriwal has attended, has stayed through the meeting, right? has made his point of view. I think this is one of the very few occasions where he has actually participated in one of the opposition meetings. And I may only remind you, Preeti, that getting opposition unity is always an affair which requires a few tries. 96.
But Mr. Karappa, as I bring in our other guests, those tries are happening where the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned with an ultimatum. Supporters on the ordinance or else. And that's what your press release clearly states. If you look at your press release after that, the minute Arvind Kejriwal walked out refusing to attend the press conference, it clearly states where you've even called the Congress in bed with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Now, this is also a party where the Congress says that 5 days ago, you're in Rajasthan, where you call the Chief Minister of Rajasthan corrupt, where you completely deride the Congress in Rajasthan, and then you come out and you're seeking the Congress's support on the ordinance. How are they supposed to, what are they supposed to make of it?
See, I think as far as concerned, it can't be perfect harmony between political parties, because I think there will always be some niggling issues. Are you saying that as far as Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, who's an old-time associate of the Congress party for many years, are there no differences? Are there no differences between Mulayam Singh Yadav's Samajwadi Party and the Congress party? Of course, there are differences. But despite these differences in the larger interest of the nation, I think Mr. Kejriwal has put his best step forward. He has participated in this meeting, and I don't think he has ever said that he's not going to participate in the next meeting at Shimla.
He has. Mr. Karappa, he has. I'll correct you. Your leader has said that he will not participate in the meeting in Shimla until and unless the Congress says very clearly that all of your MPs in Rajya Sabha will back the Aam Aadmi Party on the issue of ordinances. So he has. I want to bring in the Congress spokesperson Swati Malik into the conversation. Swati Malik at this meeting, and we have it on record, over 12 political parties, leaders of 12 political parties, which includes the likes of Mamta Banerjee, Akhilesh Yadav, Sharad Pawar.
I'm sorry, Preeti, I haven't seen it. I'm here to comment on side.
Okay, sir. It's there. But Swati Malik, with all of these, like I said, 12 political parties urged the Congress to consider. Even an Omar Abdullah, who said that the Aam Aadmi Party did not stand by the parties in the valley when it comes down to Section 370 and the repealing of it. Even yet, Aam Aadmi Party sided with the BJP, yet in the larger interest of the country, opposition parties should support the ordinance, support the Aam Aadmi Party on the ordinance issue.
Preeti, thank you for having this debate, because today's meeting is extremely important. 12 parties coming together, and of course the issue of ordinance I will just come to, but 12 parties coming together to find a common cause to fight for the larger picture, right? So I was just listening, and Rajiv said, right, it's going to be a marathon. It's not a one-day thing. So of course, this is the first meeting. Everybody is going to, try and sort out their little issues. If Mr. Kejriwal has made this such a big issue that he will not show up for the next meeting unless this is declared by the Congress. Please let me remind you, Congress has not refused. There is no refusal. And if I'll just remind you of another thing, that when the ordinance was issued on 20th of May, Dr. Singhvi was one of the first ones to criticize it, right? So it's not like Congress has not has denied or has refused to support it. But yes, we will let's let the senior leadership deal with this. This is only the first meeting, and we will see how it goes. But I'm sure before July, the next meeting, I'm sure something will be worked out between the parties. It's only the beginning. It's a beginning of a very long race. We have to sort out our issues and fight together in 2024.
All right, okay. I want to just, before I cut into a break, I want to bring in the BJP spokesperson into this conversation. Syed Zafar Islam, you've had multiple press conferences, through the course of the last couple of days where this opposition unity is concerned. You had Smriti Irani just about an hour ago call the opposition meeting and the leaders as a pack of wolves. But, there's also a contradiction to that, Syed Zafar Islam. Wolves are technically the ultimate team players. So if they actually do come together cohesively, it could be worrisome where the Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned.
Not at all. Is this the first this kind of meeting taking place? We had several such meetings. We have seen several such meetings in the past also. In 2019, in Brigade Ground, Calcutta. We had seen such a massive meeting and every opposition parties were together. Are they together today? No, there are many faces missing today. And even now, AAP has walked out. The many has not attended, and many will in the second meeting will not attend, because these were merely formalities. Formality, no unity. They are actually just performing formality because they have to be in contention for X, Y, Z aspiration what they have. Somebody wants to become Prime Minister, somebody wants to become Home Minister. Everybody has some aspiration, and they are actually trying to negotiate with each other. Ultimately, you know that there is one position: who will be the Prime Minister? Who will fight against the Honorable Prime Minister? There is none. There is no consensus, and that is something which will actually drag down everyone, and it will fall apart, because the only objective they have is how to come back to the power, and every political party's senior leader or the leader of that political party is actually aspiring to become the chief minister. I mean, I can ask Swati Malik, or for that matter, my friend Brijesh Kalappaji, who for the first time I am having him on the show after he joined AAP, whether Kejriwal will accept Rahul Gandhi as the Prime Minister, or whether vice versa, whether Swati Malik can confirm that Rahul Gandhi will accept him as his Prime Minister, or for that matter, anyone else like Nitish Kumar will be accepted by
Mr. Zafar Islam, who will be Prime Minister? Who will be Prime Minister, I would reckon, is the last 100 meter of what we are looking at, a long run marathon, and which will go on over a couple of months. There, the second round only. They haven't even decided who will be the convener of the Mahagathbandhan. Leave alone who will be the prime ministerial candidate. Right.
I think
go ahead, sir.
That is the mute point, Preeti, because that is the point I'm trying to make.
Fair point. So we're going to come back. I'm going to go into a quick break. We're going to come back into this conversation, and we're going to bring in the TMC, the Samajwadi Party, and the NCP spokesperson. Stay with us.
Where the software engineer meets the smart market analyst, meets the talented photographer to create the big dream. The world comes together at Sharda University. So where are you?
These lethal long-endurance, medium-altitude drones may soon be the new weapons in the arsenal of the Indian Armed Forces. The Defence Acquisition Council gave its nod for the acquisition of the Sea Guardian drones. The Army, the Navy and the Air Force are looking at 10 drones each. The Indian Navy has already leased 2 MQ-9 Sea Guardians, the naval version of the drones, for intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance operations since 2020.
ये जो डील है ये हमारे देश की मैरीटाइम और ओवरऑल सिक्योरिटी के लिए बहुत ही ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि सर्वेलेंस सबसे ज़्यादा महत्वपूर्ण स्थान रखता है, क्योंकि हमें चाहिए कि हम अपनी एरिया में जहाँ एरिया ऑफ ऑपरेशंस है वहाँ निगरानी रख सकें, और ये क्षमता इस कैपेबिलिटी से हमें मिलती है.
The MQ-9A Reaper drones were used for the precision targeting of Al-Qaeda chief Ayman al-Zawahiri in Kabul. These unmanned combat aerial vehicles, apart from a number of sensors, cameras and radars, are also capable of carrying 4 Hellfire missiles for precision targeting of high-value targets. Both the Army and the Air Force are looking at these drones for high-risk operations to destroy strategic assets of the adversary without risking the lives of pilots. These hunter-killer drones can carry 4 Hellfire missiles. They're also capable of carrying 2 laser-guided bombs and 2 joint-action JDAMs. These drones can fly at an altitude of 40,000 feet and remain airborne for over 36 hours. They're also capable of loitering in the sky, scanning the ground below for the enemy. The MQ-9B Sea Guardian drones come with both maritime surveillance, reconnaissance and anti-submarine warfare capabilities. The drones are capable of providing over-the-horizon surveillance and reconnaissance support both to warships and surface units. With increased Chinese presence in the Indian Ocean region, coupled with Chinese aggression along the LAC, these UCAVs will help keep an eye on the adversary both in the Himalayas and in the Indian Ocean region and take out strategic targets when needed. Bureau Report, India Today.
Give us a picture of really how bleak the situation is looking currently.
Basically, what is happening right now, as we all aware, that the monsoon this year is delayed.
Yeah.
And apart from this monsoon, this cyclone which has just formed over the Arabian Sea, this Biparjoy, and some cyclonic circulations which has formed over the eastern part of our country. Because of this, the progress of monsoon has already been delayed, and it is now stalled over the south. And as we can see, as per the report from the IMD only, the meteorological department, this monsoon has covered the entire Kerala and most of the parts of Karnataka. But still, these two states are in deficit to large deficit category, as you just now said. And we expect that the observations we have and the data which we used to analyze, based on that, our experience says that rest of the countries may receive some amount of rainfall towards the end of this month to early July. And that will be the point when farmers will start cultivation of all the crops. But looking at the prices of the entire crops for last year and recently which is going on, we have seen that the pulses prices have done a very, I would say it is very much lucrative for farmers. The prices for tur, you must be aware that it has increased by more than 20%. Similarly for urad, that black gram, its prices have also gone up. Moong prices have also gone up significantly. And apart from this, the center has recently announced the higher MSP for all the Kharif pulses, and for other crops definitely. But the rate of increase in MSP for pulses is much better than the other crops. If we compare with the paddy, maize, and other oilseeds, in oilseeds they have definitely increased the MSP significantly for sesame by 800 or more than 800 rupees. But again, it is grown in very small pockets of India, in central and central India mostly, the Bundelkhand region. So definitely there would be some increase in sesame area this year, but farmers will be more inclined for this pulses crop for two reasons. Number one, as I said, that prices are very lucrative, and secondly, the MSP the center has increased. It is very good and attractive for the farmers. And secondly, the pulses are less water intensive crop. And all these three pulses are performing very well this season price wise. So we are expecting that definitely the acreage for pulses will go up, but there will be a delay. Or as you have already mentioned that there is a 10-12 days delay in sowing, and that is why almost entire crop, acreage of entire crop is going down.
Powered by the world comes together at Sharda University. Tata Altroz. OMG, it's the Altroz iCNG. Bajaj Allianz Life Diabetic Term Plan.
Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhry. So the big opposition meet took place in Patna today. Everything seemed to be going peacefully without a hitch. But right in the end, you had Arvind Kejri'Wall's chair, which never was occupied when the press conference happened. Arvind Kejri'Wall attended the meeting but boycotted the press conference. Why? Because this is what the Aam Aadmi Party says. Aam Aadmi Party has now taken on the Congress on the issue of no support where the ordinance is concerned. Arvind Kejriwal had given an ultimatum to the Congress in this meeting, saying that it would be in this meeting that the Congress decides whether or not they will support the Aam Aadmi Party on the issue of ordinance in Rajya Sabha. The Congress refusing to help Aam Aadmi Party on ordinance is one of the reasons why Arvind Kejriwal boycotted the press conference. The Congress's silence is suspicious, is what the Aam Aadmi Party says. The Congress to abstain in Rajya Sabha and help BJP. The Aam Aadmi Party suspects the Congress will abstain and stage a walkout in Rajya Sabha. Will skip any alliance which has Congress till, of course, it comes with a rider, till the Congress decides whether or not it will support the Aam Aadmi Party when it comes down to the ordinance in Rajya Sabha. I want to cut across right now, back to our spokesperson, our political panel. Joining me again, Mohammad Tausif Rahman, spokesperson TMC. It's interesting, Mr. Rahman, because when you heard Mamta Banerjee speak in that press conference, she seemed very positive. And Mamta Banerjee has been one of the leaders, TMC has been one of the parties very critical of the Congress of late. You're going into a panchayat poll where you're facing off with the left and the Congress. There's no love lost between Mr. Yechuria and Ms. Banerjee. Today they were less than 10 feet away. And understandably also that if Mamta Banerjee has now agreed to go to a Congress-run state in Shimla for round 2 of the meeting where the opposition is concerned, it seems the TMC is quite happy with the way things went.
Well, of course, Preeti, if you have seen her statement, whatever she has said, it was very comfortable. And it's not about today. From last 2-3 months, she is very active and she is supporting all kind of opposition, whether they want to come in our state and they want to work with us and fight against the BJP. She is handling it very well. And since day one, she is asking that we should come under one roof and fight against BJP. But while I was hearing Smriti Irani ji and Sushil Modi ji, they were both in confidence, which was totally fake. And, they started talking about the past with Mamta Banerjee, how it happened with the left, what happened with the Congress, howsoever once the opposition treated her. But this will not help actually. More than any tie-up, Preeti ji, the main unity will be with the people from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. No matter who's ruling our country, the people of our country is under emergency situation. And, if the people wants Modi and if they're happy with Modi, why the BJP government is losing all the state? And this trip to US, which is not less than a vacation, if you don't mind, will it bring the cost of gas, electricity, food, bus fare, train fare, flight fare, medical, education fares down? India needs a stable economy and we need to stop misuse of central agencies. Rupee versus dollar, demonetization, unemployment, economic blunders, betrayal of farmers, purchasing of media, budgetary frauds.
Mr. Rahman, many Indians will suggest why can't both?
All this, we need to come under one umbrella.
Okay, many Indians will say why can't both happen at the same time? There are a lot of proud Indians in which, in the way which the Prime Minister of the country was welcomed in the United States, especially it comes at the back of how well our economy is doing, and there are figures to suggest the same, sir. So, in that context, is different from what we're discussing right now. But having said that, I want to bring in the Samajwadi Party spokesperson and cut across to the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NCP spokesperson as well. But Ghanshyam Tiwari, the Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav was not happy with the Congress of late. You always, be it in Parliament or outside, distanced yourself from the Congress. Was there a thaw in this particular meeting? Because if Akhilesh Yadav is going to Shimla, which is a Congress-run stage, what is it that he's extracted out of this meeting for the Samajwadi Party, which is amiable where the Congress is concerned?
Good evening, Preeti, to you, the viewers and the fellow co-panelists. When we look at the preamble of the Constitution, the points to highlight: we the people, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, justice for citizens, liberty for citizens, equality for citizens, fraternity for citizens. These are the essential elements of our Constitution that are threatened by this government, for which Prime Minister Modi has been questioned not just in India, but now by President Obama or in the United States in that press conference. It is a shame that Indian Prime Minister has to go to United States to do a press conference. So that on this day, 15 parties came together, and I want to also congratulate Nitish Kumar ji, Chief Minister of Bihar, for convening this momentous occasion where India is setting its foot confidently towards an agenda for 2024 which is built on harmony, which is built on a spirit of democracy. When opposition comes together, it must be an acceptable alliance for the people. An acceptable alliance does not come together when the Prime Minister goes and says, while the parliament is shut in India, goes and says that we have
what's an acceptable alliance for the Samajwadi Party where Uttar Pradesh comes into question? 80 seats in Lok Sabha.
Absolutely. When we set the agenda from the future of the country, from the employment for youth, for harmony for everybody, this is something that is essential for every state, from the federal structure, from the spirit of Constitution, from the fact that we have a Prime Minister who would rather go to United States and speak about how there are 2,500 parties in India, but their spokespersons, even an erudite spokesperson like Zafar Islam, cannot name 10 political alliance. They speak about ek akela. Who is akela? Typically, a dictator is akela. Typically, a tyrant is akela. Typically, an autocrat is akela. In India,
okay.
Prime Minister is not
Tiwari, this is all well and good. No, Ghanshyam Tiwari, this is all well and good to say, but the sheer fact, and I'll bring in the NCP spokesperson here. I'll come to you. Mr. Islam, just let me bring in the NCP spokesperson. All good to say, ek akela, you can call him dictator, call him what you may. But what is your entire Mahagathbandhan about? One party, one seat. You're going to all of you are going to get together, and hoping that it happens, one candidate, a consensus candidate to face off against the BJP. So you are actually coming together, all of you, to face off against the Prime Minister. He is a formidable political force, whether you like it or not. Mahesh Tabse, isn't that exactly the formula that Sharad Pawar has suggested, at least on 400 seats, to go 1 versus 1?
Yeah, hi and good evening to all of you. I think Mr. Pawar, being a very senior leader and understanding politics to the grassroots level, he's pitching 67% versus the 63% versus the 37% of the vote share which the BJP got in the 2019 elections. And I think it's a very welcome suggestion if all of us can actually unite in heart and spirit and propose only one candidate, and backed by the entire opposition, 15, 16, 17, 18 parties coming together. I think this is how we are going to defeat the Modi government. Let me tell you that BJP has actually fragmented the votes and they have won. They don't have a straight fight. They have got various political parties coming in and eating into the secular votes of the UPA, and then that's how they have come into power. So this time we have understood from the last two elections, which is 14 and 19, that we have to stick together and as a flock of people who save the Constitution, who want to save the democratic principles in the country, who want to uphold the secularism in the country, and who want to see that India stays on the path of as a welfare state and not as a police state. So this is why we are all together, and I think today's meeting has gone up absolutely well. As far as the Aam Aadmi and the Congress issue is concerned, I think when Mr. Kejriwal came to Mumbai, Pawar Sahib did say that we are going to support you all throughout, and he is also going to use his office and his influence to support.
No, well, that did happen. That did happen today. Sharad Pawar intervened. One can say interlocutors were Sharad Pawar, Nitish Kumar. You had a Lalu also who stepped in, trying to convince Mamta Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, the Congress to support Arvind Kejriwal on the issue of ordinance. But Syed Zafar Islam, I want to bring you in. Whatever Sharad Pawar has suggested and what the main premise of the Mahagathbandhan is, if it's going to be 1 versus 1, forget, if the consensus doesn't reach 400 seats, which, is a far off dream, even if it is on 275 seats, 250 to 300 seats, the BJP will be in trouble, Syed Zafar Islam.
Not at all. Actually, all this plan eventually will backfire on them because, as I said earlier, these political parties have aspiration of their own, and they want to survive. It's a call they are taking for their own survival. And you know what? I just heard the Samajwadi spokesperson, and he was talking something about the Honorable Prime Minister, that he is Akela. I must tell you that in today's meeting, what all the political parties were discussing. In fact, I can tell you with a small couplet from a Hindi song. If you remember that there's a song called Sara Zamana Modi Ka Deewana, Ab Kya Kare Hum, Mushkil Hai Janta Ko Manana. That is what they were discussing today in today's meeting. And that is saying the people
Islam,
of India,
that's quite
of India
sporting of you to
are
sing
with the
it out
Honorable
for
Prime
us.
Minister.
Well,
Okay.
because you've sung it out. You've sung it
No,
out to
the
the
people of
Samajwadi.
India are with Honorable Prime Minister.
Okay. You've sung it out to the Samajwadi Party spokesperson who wants
this
to
is what
respond.
they were discussing today.
Okay, who wants to respond? Ghanshyam Tiwari, that's a fact. That's what you're doing. One versus one. And that other one is Modi, and one is all of you together. Go ahead.
Well, very quickly, I think the fight is very simple. We all grew up, everyone on this panel grew up singing proudly, Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara, hum bulbule hain iski, ye gulstan hamara, mazhab nahi sikhata, aapas mein bair rakhna. This is what we grew up singing in Kendriya Vidyalaya prayers in different places. And this is what is threatened by Bharatiya Janata Party. That they want the people to sing Sara Zamana Modi Ka Deewana. No, this is a country where the Sara Zamana जो है देश का, उसे रोजगार चाहिए, उसे महंगाई से लड़ना है, उसे आपस में नहीं लड़ना है. And that is the reason it is heartening to see that not only that this occasion sets in motion mission for 2024, that in 3 weeks there will be an agenda on the table. The same parties will meet, and I think to look at
Preeti,
the
let me
Congress versus
respond to
Aam
him
Aadmi
first.
Party, this entire momentous occasion from that prism is like looking at the sun on the day of solar eclipse. That is just one sideshow. The reality is
the sideshow. Okay. Aside Zafar Islam, come back for 10 seconds and I need to go in.
Please.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, only 10 seconds. See, all this suggests that the Honorable Prime Minister command respect, have a lot of admiration from the people of this great country. And people, what Mr. Pawar was talking about, one-on-one, means the people of India is with the Honorable Prime Minister. And
Sir,
that's
we
why
don't know that.
all the
We don't know that.
political
Let that
parties are
last
coming
vote be counted.
together
Brajesh
to
Kadapa,
pose
you want to
challenge
come in
one
10
person,
seconds, sir? Please
only
go
one
ahead.
person.
Brajesh Kadapa, go ahead. 10 seconds, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, Preeti, what I'd like to say is to my dear friend Mr. Islam, that as far as the BJP is concerned, they must realize that they only have 37% of the vote. And those political parties which met at Patna today constitute over 50% of the vote as far as the country is concerned. Therefore,
No, sir, we calculated. That's wrong. Those 16 political parties which came in today constitute 37% of the vote. We'll play it, for our viewers. The ones who attended today is what I'm counting, sir. 37%.
No, but what I'm saying is that as far as this, even if it is 37% of the vote, is that a small coalition? Is that a small kind of grouping? One.
Sir,
two, I was trying to point out earlier.
The grouping you're defending, you're not a part of till now.
1 minute, Preeti. I was only trying to point out that we may not have got it right in 2019. It doesn't mean we won't get it right in 2024.
Okay.
Because
I need to wrap
ultimately
up.
we got it right in 2004 after trying in 98 and 99.
Sir, the fact is, Mr. Kadapa, the party you are representing today is not part of this coalition yet. They are saying we don't want to stand on the same stage as the Congress till the time the Congress submits.
I don't agree with that at all.
Where the
I don't
ordinance
agree
is
with that
concerned.
reasoning. The very fact that Mr. Kejriwal showed up is, goes to say a lot.
I appreciate all of you for joining us. That's all the time that I have for now. We're going to keep a keen eye on all developments. This was round 1, which was Patna. Round 2, viewers, will be in Shimla. But we do leave you with something which will make you smile on a lighter note. And Lalu Yadav is known for that, chiding Rahul Gandhi. Thank you for joining us.
one of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Washington DC was all about Desh Bhakti, delectable delicacies, with the Bidens and Desi diaspora dhamaka. Modi arrived at the Joint Base Andrews in Washington DC, where he was given a ceremonial guard of honor in heavy rains. The Prime Minister, who was wearing a raincoat, stood throughout in rapt attention for the national anthems of the two countries, unmindful of the torrential rains. From the airport, Modi travelled to the hotel where large and boisterous Indian diaspora members were waiting for him. The Indian American community staged cultural programs including Garba and folk dance outside the hotel in Washington DC, where Modi is staying. In his first public interaction in the US Capitol, Modi and US First Lady Jill Biden then visited the National Science Federation and interacted with students.
हमारी वर्तमान और आने वाली पीढ़ियों को एक बेहतर भविष्य सुनिश्चित करने के लिए ये हम सभी का दायित्व है। इस उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए आवश्यक है एजुकेशन, स्किल, इनोवेशन और भारत में हमने इस दिशा में कई प्रयास किए हैं।
If we want our economies to be strong, we need to invest in young people who are our future. We need to ensure that they have the opportunities that they deserve. Education is the cornerstone of the bond between India and the United States.
Seeing the interaction between the Prime Minister and First Lady today, there was a tremendous energy in the room, and it really made me aware of the depth of the intellectual and scientific collaboration between India and the United States.
To hear their thoughts about the various opportunities available and their passion for education. And I'm really looking forward to how I can combine all this inspiration to achieve something worthwhile.
President Biden and First Lady Jill then hosted Modi for an intimate dinner at the White House. Jill Biden was seen personally supervising the dinner table and the delectable vegetarian spread laid out for the Prime Minister. Modi and the Bidens were seen sharing hugs, handshakes and warmth.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 42 and minimum 27 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 30 and minimum 28 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 35 and minimum 26 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 30 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 32 and minimum 27 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 28 and minimum 24 degrees.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
you who've been following us in the Tech Today multiverse, you know that we are absolutely obsessed with all sorts of devices, big boy toys, what's happening in the world of artificial intelligence, regulation of AI and other emerging tech, the metaverse, what's happening on the enterprise side, cloud security, all of that fascinates us on Tech Today. And I'm guessing that's why you tune into our content. And sometimes we like to cover all sorts of different devices. Sorry, I think it's getting a little smoky in the Tech Today studio. Well, I have a friend with me in the studio today, the Xiaomi Smart Air Purifier 4. Now, honestly speaking, the studio is quite sorted. We've brought you all sorts of gimmicks before, but this one I've been using for the past few weeks, and honestly, it has been a game changer. Now here in the Tech Today studio, you have double digits AQI on the Xiaomi Smart Air Purifier 4. But I've been using this, like I said, for the past few days, and honestly, I am visibly impressed. Firstly, the fact that this device makes absolutely no sound. If you put it in automatic mode or sleep mode, you don't even know it's on. And it's on right now, and I'm guessing the microphone isn't catching the sound. If you put it in level 1, it's all right. What it is doing through its filtration system is that it's taking all the air, the surrounding air, 360 degrees, taking it in through a 3-stage filtration system and then putting out clean air into the room. Well, Xiaomi claims that this particular device can purify a room nearly 20 meters square in size in under 10 minutes. It does manage to bring down AQI levels to single digits. Now, that's a true value. It is absolutely fascinating that a device for 15,000 rupees can do this. And I'll tell you how they're making this possible. When you look at this particular device, yes, it's got this polka dotted design, but that's not just to make it look kind of cool. This small box-like structure takes in all the surrounding lit matter, sucks it in from here. There's a high-quality activated carbon right here. Then there's Xiaomi's high-efficiency filter inside, and then a primary filter. So if you're talking about pet hair, pollen, dust, smoke, dander, cotton fiber, well, this particular device claims that it can filter all of that. Now, it's also got a feature called negative air ionization. In simple parlance, what that essentially means when you turn it on, and it's as good in terms of purifying the air even if you've turned it off, but a lot of air purifiers do offer this feature, and now the Xiaomi one does as well. Well, what this feature essentially does is that these ions will latch on to